Now, let's have a look at Meghan Markle being weird and inauthentic.
She's been mocked at Paris Fashion Week.
A duchess showing up at Fashion Week is supposed to spark chaos, excitement, and cameras going wild. But at the Balenciaga front row, the loudest thing wasn't applause, it was whispers. And those whispers carried something heavier than bad reviews, something that felt uncomfortable and tense from the start. From the outside, it looked like the perfect comeback moment for Meghan Markle, flashes popping, lights reflecting off her black heels, the kind of entrance editors dream about putting on a cover. But people inside the room were telling a totally different story, and the contrast was impossible to ignore. Stylists later said when Meghan walked in, the mood instantly shifted cold. No smiles, no cheek kisses, no friendly energy at all. One whispered it felt like eyes were just watching her and judging, not welcoming her.
That was awkward. Let's have another look at it.
It didn't feel like an icon arriving. It felt like suspicion hanging in the air, and in Paris, silence can speak louder than screaming crowds. Photographers still took pictures, but even they seemed low energy about it, almost bored. Editors who usually rush celebrities for selfies kept their distance, like nobody wanted to be caught too close. One insider said the body language said everything. People were cautious, calculating, and careful about proximity. In an industry built on being seen together, Meghan suddenly looked untouchable. Not because of headlines or drama, but because of something way more basic and awkward. Backstage chatter started spreading that her presence was difficult, and not because of attitude, but because of her aura. Or more specifically, her smell. Several people repeated similar claims, which made the rumor grow fast. One person described it as cheap perfume layered over stress, while another whispered the glam team looked drained, spraying everything they could to fix it. Someone joked, "But you can't fix that." And whether it was exaggeration or truth, the gossip exploded across the room before the night even ended. By then, nobody was talking about the runway looks anymore. They were talking about Meghan in Paris. Scandal can fade, confidence can even be admired. But hygiene rumors? That's social exile territory, and the fashion crowd is brutal about that kind of thing. And if those whispers were harsh, the outfit detail hit even harder, because in fashion, clothes are status signals. Insiders claimed her pieces weren't gifted couture, but borrowed samples. Tags still attached, no custom tailoring, nothing exclusive. That's a quiet but sharp message. She wasn't fully inside the elite circle. Top celebrities usually get designer pieces for free because brands want their energy and influence connected to them. But insiders suggested Meghan's aura didn't qualify this time, meaning everything had to be returned after the show. One stylist even whispered Balenciaga didn't crown her, they tolerated her. And that comment spread fast. Publicly, Meghan kept her chin up, smiling like she owned the city, projecting confidence for the cameras. But people behind the scenes insisted Paris wasn't buying it, saying the glamorous Duchess image didn't match what they were seeing backstage. Instead of being styled like royalty, she looked more like a placeholder. And in fashion, that's one of the loudest rejections possible. The contrast couldn't have been clearer. Meghan wanted a rebirth moment, but Paris delivered a reality check instead.
I mean, yeah, the children were posed with teddy bears dressed in bondage-style gear.
What?
It was predatory, and Meghan Markle is accepting an award as Humanitarian of the Year on Thursday for protecting children online. She shouldn't be promoting a brand accused of predatory.
And the whispers didn't stop inside the venue, because when she left, another rumor started circulating. This time darker, stranger, and way more emotional. After the show, people expected her car to disappear quietly into the night, but the story took a chilling turn. Word spread that she drove through the Alma Tunnel, the same place where Princess Diana lost her life. At first, some called it coincidence, but as one fashion journalist said, in this city, nothing is coincidence. Her own team quickly pushed back, saying Meghan Markle didn't know where she was, that she was unaware of the location's history, and that the drive was simply the fastest route back to her hotel. But for people who have followed her story for years, that explanation sounded empty, almost unbelievable. Former friends had said she studied Princess Diana's funeral again and again, replaying the footage like homework. while others remembered how deeply she read royal biographies, with details highlighted and memorized. So the big question exploded everywhere. How could she not know? One commentator asked, "This is a woman who knows her symbols. That tunnel is the most loaded symbol of all." Online communities picked it up instantly, and the internet moved fast like it always does when drama hits. TikTok edits started appearing within hours.
How are you protecting children when you were promoting a brand that was accused of inappropriate behavior towards them?
Now, look, it's not being received well, certainly not as well as maybe she would have hoped, with some people labeling it as Zoolander war.
Showing Meghan's car driving through the Alma tunnel side by side with clips of Diana's final moments, all set to haunting music that made the comparison feel even heavier. On Twitter, hashtags trended hard, with some people calling her bold while others called it manipulative. One user wrote, "It's one thing to admire Diana. It's another to cosplay her tragedy." That line spread everywhere, turning skepticism into full-blown outrage mixed with disbelief, the exact kind of viral reaction that no PR team can control. For Paris, the story hit like an emotional shockwave. The city had adored Diana, and for many locals, her memory still feels sacred, almost untouchable. The Alma isn't just a random tunnel there, it's a place tied to grief, history, and respect. Local tabloids ran headlines questioning motives, while international outlets carefully speculated about whether the drive could have been staged, choosing their words cautiously but clearly raising doubts. Some reports hinted the moment might not have been accidental at all. One paper wrote, "Careful not to accuse but unwilling to dismiss," and that gray area only made the situation more explosive. Behind the scenes, fashion insiders began connecting dots, whispering about the bigger strategy and what they believed was really happening. Why risk symbolism this heavy? Why keep linking yourself to Diana's legacy again and again?
She went round Paris in this car. She had her heels kicked up, and you could see that. A lot of people criticized her because she went near the tunnel where Diana was tragically killed. I'm not sure that was deliberate, but it's a lot of people criticized that.
One editor reportedly told colleagues, "It's not branding, it's obsession." To them, the Paris trip wasn't about fashion headlines. It was about rewriting the Diana narrative, one carefully timed moment at a time. But the irony hit hard because instead of admiration, the comparison only reminded people of the gap she could never close. Meanwhile, longtime Diana supporters reacted emotionally, with comment sections filling up fast. Some posts were blunt. Diana was loved. Meghan is pretending, while others pointed directly at Prince Harry asking why he would accept something that looked like a performance tied to such a painful memory. One viral post said, "If Harry cries when he talks about that tunnel, how could she treat it like a photo op?" And that message gained thousands of likes in hours.
Look, this is the same woman that tells us she's Diana 2.0. Shouldn't she be aware of something like this?
By the end of Fashion Week, Meghan's Paris appearance wasn't about couture anymore. It was about a car ride, a tunnel, and the shadow of a princess whose legacy still dominates public emotion. With every headline and every whisper, tension kept building, because the next revelation wasn't about rumors or speculation at all, it was about hypocrisy hiding in plain sight. For years, Meghan had positioned herself as someone targeted by harsh media coverage, saying the press hunted her and twisted her story, warning that history was repeating itself with Harry watching tragedy unfold again. She argued cameras could destroy her the way they destroyed Diana. But Paris suddenly brought attention back to a detail many people had forgotten: the complicated truth about who actually profited from Diana's final moments. While British tabloids took most of the public blame, insiders started reminding people of a detail that felt way more uncomfortable once you looked closer. The most haunting images from Princess Diana's final hours were not sold by Fleet Street papers. They were purchased, aired, and broadcast by an American network, CBS. And yes, that's the exact same network that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle later chose for their explosive primetime interview, which made commentators instantly point out the contradiction. How do you condemn the press for exploiting tragedy? One media analyst asked, and then give exclusives to the very network that profited from it. That question spread fast because it hit a nerve people couldn't ignore. Reports even suggested some people in Harry's own circle questioned the decision at the time, with friends allegedly warning him that sitting down with CBS could reopen painful history and old wounds. But Meghan reportedly pushed forward anyway, and when Oprah Winfrey's cameras started rolling, the network that once turned Diana's end into massive ratings now turned Harry and Meghan's grievances into a global television spectacle.
Well, I think you've got to get the princess pouch, don't you? You've got to work on that. Brilliant. Ben Stiller movie and those glorious moments as they strut their stuff, all sorts of things. And people come with their own prejudices about the megalomania, as I call it each time.
For critics, it wasn't just irony. It looked like hypocrisy broadcast directly into millions of homes, carved into prime time itself. Online audiences caught the connection immediately too. Threads on Reddit began pulling receipts, posting CBS headlines from the 1990s next to Meghan's Oprah clips. One viral comment read, "She blames tabloids for Diana's suffering, but works with a company that showed her last breaths. How do you explain that?" That comparison didn't stay niche. It spread across platforms, fueling the narrative that Meghan's public victim story felt carefully curated rather than consistent. Industry insiders started noticing the shift in perception as well. One Hollywood publicist told Variety, "Authenticity sells, hypocrisy kills." In their view, the CBS partnership marked the moment Meghan's credibility began slipping, and when Paris whispers started bringing Diana back into the conversation again, that credibility took another hit. And suddenly people weren't just questioning outfits or travel choices. They were questioning integrity. And to make things worse, more reports began circulating that Meghan's speeches and humanitarian branding were often ghostwritten, with projects described as recycled versions of ideas already floating around. Staff accounts portrayed her as demanding but unclear, a leader without a strong direction, which only made the CBS contradiction feel more damaging once people connected the dots. Combined with the Paris rumors, the pattern became harder to ignore. Critics described an image-focused duchess who seemed obsessed with perception but careless with consistency. And Paris didn't just expose that tension, it amplified it loudly. Because when fashion houses decide who sits front row, they aren't choosing based only on fame, they're choosing cultural influence and credibility. And the weight Paris insiders claimed they saw in Meghan wasn't glamour, it was contradiction, and that difference mattered in an industry built on perception. That realization pushed the story into its next phase, because if the CBS connection represented hypocrisy, the fashion world's reaction represented something even more brutal. Rejection from the exact industry Meghan reportedly hoped would embrace her again. By the third day of Paris Fashion Week, the conversation around Meghan had completely shifted. It wasn't about her outfit anymore, and it wasn't even about the tunnel.
Also, this is the same town that her mother-in-law passed away in. Prince Harry says it was due to paparazzi, and Meghan's literally chasing these flashbulbs throughout the city. And then, she's 1 mile away in that video from where Princess Diana, had her last breath, lost her life.
Insiders started calling it the cold shoulder. Designers who normally compete for celebrity attention appeared to avoid her, creating awkward moments people quickly noticed. One photographer even claimed, "I've never seen a duchess stand alone for so long in a lobby," and once those images hit the internet, they spread everywhere almost instantly. Meghan Markle kept her chin raised with cameras flashing all around her, but there was one detail people couldn't ignore: no major fashion peers standing beside her. That visual alone sparked a storm online, because in fashion, who stands next to you says everything about your status. Fans jumped on it fast, posting side-by-side images across social media. Meghan, sitting in borrowed Balenciaga pieces, was compared to Rihanna. Wrapped in couture, Zendaya embraced by Valentino, and Kim Kardashian surrounded by Balenciaga's creative team. The captions were ruthless. One read, "One of these women was invited, the other borrowed the invite." Memes exploded with hashtags like #EmptyChairEnergy and #BorrowedCouture. And suddenly Paris, the city of light, turned Meghan into the internet's shadow. Industry commentators didn't hold back either, and fashion blogs that usually stay polite started publishing subtle but sharp critiques. A French editor wrote, "Paris does not reward pretense clothes, must fit the spirit, not just the body," while another insider suggested her look was assembled, not bestowed, a coded way of saying she wasn't personally chosen by the house. In fashion language, those aren't casual comments, they're daggers, because being seen as desperate is worse than being invisible. The Diana tunnel whispers only made everything sting more, adding emotional tension to the fashion rejection. Fans began posting old clips of Prince Harry speaking about trauma, edited next to Meghan posing in Paris. One viral TikTok caption said, "He cries, she poses," and that clip pulled millions of views in less than a day, showing how fast perception was shifting. Some commentators went even deeper, arguing Paris didn't just reject Meghan's outfit, it rejected what she represented. One culture critic wrote, "Diana was authenticity in motion. Meghan is simulation in still frames." Paris saw the difference. That comparison hit hard because it framed the issue as something bigger than fashion. It was about identity and credibility. The backlash reportedly spread beyond designers too, with whispers that other celebrities were quietly advised to keep their distance. One stylist claimed they overheard a PR manager say, "Being seen too close is a risk right now." And in an industry built on alliances, that kind of distancing is devastating. For someone whose brand relied on connections, losing proximity meant losing power. Online irony cut even deeper because some supporters who once defended Meghan against the monarchy started questioning their own views. One post read, "Maybe the firm saw something, we didn't." And it gathered tens of thousands of likes, showing a clear shift from sympathy to skepticism. That emotional turn marked a major narrative change. Meghan wasn't just losing Paris, she was losing public momentum. By the climax of Fashion Week, the biggest moment wasn't the runway at all. It was the growing realization that Meghan's image, once seen as untouchable, looked like it was cracking in real time. And when Paris strips away glamour, the world pays attention, because this city has a reputation for deciding who matters in culture. What came next felt even harsher, the aftermath that followed her beyond France. When the lights dimmed and photographers packed up, Meghan was left with something she never came for: silence. Not applause, not admiration, not even outrage. Just quiet rejection from an industry that seemed to have already moved on. And in fashion, silence can be fatal. Reports suggested that after the show, her team rushed to secure new brand meetings. But doors that once opened easily now stayed closed. One insider told Page Six, "Nobody wants to be the one to take that risk, not after Paris." That quote summed up the mood perfectly: cautious, distant, and colder than anyone expected. This was never just about one outfit or one tunnel drive. It was about credibility, and that's what made the situation hit harder. Fashion houses run on cultural capital, and insiders claimed Meghan Markle's Paris trip seemed to drain hers instead of boosting it. Fans noticed the shift instantly. Comment sections that used to be full of heart emojis suddenly turned sarcastic and sharp. One viral post showed her in borrowed couture with the caption "Return by Monday," and the meme wave exploded from there. On TikTok, the hashtag #ParisExposed trended for 3 straight days, proving how fast admiration can flip into ridicule online. For someone whose public image was built on global admiration, that change felt like a painful pivot. Attention was still there, but the tone was completely different. "She came for validation and left with humiliation," one fan wrote, and that comment alone captured the mood spreading across platforms. Even in Hollywood circles, whispers reportedly started circulating, with commentators speculating that if major fashion houses weren't supporting her, studios and streaming companies might start hesitating too. One media analyst told The Wrap, "If you can't command loyalty in fashion, you risk looking like a liability in film and TV." And that warning sounded serious. That prediction felt even heavier after reports that Spotify had cooled its relationship, Netflix had scaled back expectations, and no major new global deals were visible on the horizon. Suddenly, Paris wasn't just a fashion moment. It looked like a signal to the wider entertainment industry. And culturally, Paris has always carried symbolic power. This city has crowned icons for decades. Think Princess Diana at the Ritz, Rihanna with Dior, Audrey Hepburn photographed along the Seine. But it also has a reputation for exposing anyone seen as trying too hard. One French columnist bluntly wrote, "Paris forgives scandal, but it never forgives imitation." And that line summed up the entire week perfectly. Instead of reinventing herself, critics argued Meghan had reminded people of what she wasn't, and that contrast became the real headline. For Prince Harry, the fallout reportedly felt personal too, especially after photos surfaced showing him looking subdued back in California just days later. Online speculation grew fast, with fans asking whether he understood the symbolism of that tunnel drive, or whether he was once again forced into defending controversy. Either way, the cracks in the narrative suddenly looked visible to everyone watching. The Duchess, who once seemed untouchable, was now standing in harsh public glare, with the mystique fading. And that's where the irony hit hardest. Paris didn't leave Meghan with the legacy she expected. She arrived hoping for a glamorous reset, but what followed were whispers, memes, and the heavy silence that came afterward. The city gave her attention, just not the kind she wanted. And when Paris shifts its mood, the world usually notices fast. Because if Paris could reshape the conversation around Meghan Markle with one borrowed outfit and one controversial drive, many people started wondering what might happen next when Hollywood turns the spotlight back on her again. If you watch this and have thoughts, drop them in the comments below. If this breakdown made you see things differently, hit subscribe and stay locked in for more deep dives like this. Don't forget to like the video and share it with someone who needs to see it.